Riften has always been one of my favorite cities in the game. The Rift is simply beautiful as a part of Skyrim, and its capital, I would say it's one of the best vanilla cities that Bethesda made. It's the place that you visit to save Esbern, to get married, and to join the Thieves Guild, which is my personal favorite faction in the game. But today, we will make this good city into a great metropolis, so stay tuned. So hello everyone! I know, I'm not home. This is a different setup, but let's make ourselves at home here, huh? There we go. I will divide this video into 4 distinct sections. The city enhancement mods, the texture mods, the mods that focus on the outside of the wall, and then some cool finishing mods. So before I officially start, I installed the new InB. I think it's also the one that I used in my last video, because this one I recorded before that one. I know, the Nariva timeline of video release is very confusing, but we'll get there. But anyway, Rudy EMB for Cathedral Weathers. Epic. Other YouTubers such as Sin Gaming has also had a more in-depth review of this mod, so make sure you also check this out if you want to learn more. But after you finish this one, obviously, because please. So going into our city enhancement mods, the goal is to make Riften a more detailed city and to give it a more grandiose effect. Don't know why I chose that word when I wrote the script, but here we go. So you guys know me, I always need to have JK's Skyrim installed as I use it for a base for all my cities. And what it does to Riften, however, might be one of my favorite improvements from this author. Obviously, it would add more items and more details to the city, such as more market stalls and banners in the marketplace areas, and these really cool torn banners / flags, whatever they are, hanging over the canal. The Temple of Mara is also slightly modified, as there's a little statue of the goddess right in front. This makes it more apparent that this is a temple and not just another house. Honestly, for the longest time, I'm not even lying, I thought this was the building where the Jarl stayed, but I don't know why I thought that, but apparently this is a temple. So I only find that out when I simped for Camilla Valerius and got married and had 2 children and moved to Lakeview Manor right outside of Falkreath. We're getting a bit personal here, but welcome to Nariva TV. In Riften, JK is special to me. Not only because it makes the city cooler and it adds this awesome looking crane, I just have to shout out the crane because it's really cool, but it also adds some really cool gameplay effects. So as I stated earlier, Riften is home to the Thieves Guild, and this mod adapts the place for easy travel on rooftops, where you can travel unseen and do your dirty deeds. I think we can actually use this as a base for an Assassin's Creed themed video, which is something I've always thought about making. Let me know if you would actually want to see that one. But anyway, climbing is very fun and it makes for really cool shots. I'll show you more as we get more mods set up. You might also notice that some textures are also enhanced, but that's the work of Vivid Landscapes, which is the texture mod I used in the past for other overhauls, so we can't just uninstall it because we're moving to a different city, right? I realized that this is more of a texture mod, but I wanted to mention it early on because I didn't originally install it for Riften, but for Morthal and Dawnstar, and it will count as a base for everything else, in other words. So as the last detail I wanted to add to enhance the look and feel of the city, I'm using falling leaves in Riften. This mod adds this really cool effect of yellow leaves falling from the trees. It's most visible in the back alleys, obviously because there's more trees in the city, and it really adds this really cool, homey feeling to the city. You're welcome. I decided not to add another mod that adds more physical items to Riften, as they were either not compatible with JK or not up to my standards. For this series, it's important to focus on quality of mods as well, at least when it comes to my personal taste, obviously. But if ever Capital Riften expansion comes out, I'm downloading it 100%. That series of mods is really amazing. I love what they did with Whiterun and Windhelm, and if it ever comes to Riften, sign me in. And now it comes to the texture mods. We can start with Glorious Doors of Skyrim. And this doesn't just improve the Riften gate, but it improves every single door in this game. It's crazy, it's ambitious, but most importantly, it's my life. Haha. If you're wondering about the guards, I use Guards Armor Replacer. Just an FYI, if you haven't seen my other city videos, this is the mod that I use. And you should check out my other mod videos. It will be in this corner right there. I hope I'm pointing at the right one this time. In terms of the overall textures for Riften, you're looking at MRF's Riften. This is from the same series of mods that made the College of Winterhold white and gold, if you remember that. It's pretty cool. Everything looks so much cleaner and more polished, and don't tell Bethesda, but their textures suck. And this mod fixes that. In terms of the floor, there are two main mods that I need to focus on. First of all, the wood looks poopy. Very, very poopy. That's why I have Stockade Wood revamped. You can clearly see the difference yourself, and see that you can't just not download a mod to change the wood textures. This is obviously my personal favorite, but you can look around the Nexus for more alternatives. I'm keeping that in. In terms of the leaves, I use organic Riften leaves to fix that thing. God, this is so much better. Obviously, if you zoom in, you'll see that they're not 4K or 8K textures, but as you walk through Riften, you won't have to worry about the leaves looking like actual turds on the floor. For the market stalls, I use Improve Market Stalls, which is also the same mod I use for Whiterun. With this really cool mod, the designs look realistic and clean, while still keeping the non-rich merchant look, if you know what I mean. So it means that it looks like the materials that regular people would use. I mean, it doesn't have gold or diamonds, but it still looks a lot better than the vanilla textures, which are very dirty and very ugly. So, here we go. Now, if you want to keep your Riften the way it is now, go right ahead. But wait, I installed another mod, and I think this one is actually really cool. Riften Roofs Violet or Green Recolored makes for some really cool personal touch to the city, making it completely different from other holds. Obviously, green and violet are the colors of Riften, so it's very fitting. I went only with the violet ones for this video because in my opinion they fit the best, but I encourage you to try the green ones as well. I didn't get any footage with the green roofs because I'm an idiot, but you'll just have to take my word on that. It actually looks kind of cool with that too. With that final mod, we are done with the interior of the city, but now let's do the outside. Now, don't get me wrong, Riften has one of the best docks in the game. They're not as disappointing as the ones in Solitude, the so-called capital of the province. I mean, I already fixed the docks in Solitude in my Solitude video, and if you wanted to check that out, go right ahead. But we're gonna do the same thing to Riften right now. Riften Docks Overhaul is a mod that aims to add more details and life to the outside portion of Riften. The changes are not really noticeable until you actually look for them, but once you notice how cool the docks are now, you'll never want to go back. I also decided to install Riften Fish Market that adds this really cool area to the docks where people could sell their catch. It's small and adorable, but the place is really detailed and it feels like it deserves its place in Riften. Now, I don't know if I'm stupid by saying this, but I don't think there would be another fish market like this in the game. Maybe a small one would exist here and there, but nothing really to make a video about. And now look at all the fishes go sploosh sploosh in the bucket. As the docks would obviously have some ships, I would also install Viking-style ship sails that I reviewed in more detail in my Dawnstar Immortal video, but it adds a really nice colorful touch to Riften here as well. There's also Skyrim Riften Eastern Road that adds a really simple road to the eastern part of the Riften walls. I mean, it's simple, but chances are that you didn't even notice there wasn't a road here in vanilla. You're so inconsiderate. I'm so disappointed in you, you have no freaking idea. Be better. And this was it in terms of the exterior mods. Now we're going to dive into some extra mods that I think were really cool, so you can download them if you want. Ruska is one of the cutest player homes I've ever stumbled upon. It is situated right outside the city gate, very close to the lake. I have never gotten such vacation home vibes from a mod before. If you ever wanted to live in Riften, but you thought the vanilla house in the city was not to your liking, I can assure you that this is the next best alternative. While the exterior is not necessarily the most extravagant mod out there, the interior is full of detail. I told you, it really feels like a vacation home. Every room of this place is well implemented and has a really good feel. Do I say it? Should I say it? I actually think it's better than Bree's home. I said it. But really, this is adorable and homey AF, so get it. In terms of the population, I always like it when there are more NPCs in cities. It simply makes the game feel more alive. And this is why I have populated cities. It just makes sense. And as the last mod, I have Ravengate Riften Underground. This mod is really big. It adds a pretty big area in the Ratway, an area that looks long abandoned and destroyed. But it is only when you get deeper inside that you realize that there's an entire civilization down here. And it's not just your typical civilization either. They're criminals, basically. All fighting and gambling. It's a disgusting place to be in.
I don't like you.
But I couldn't help myself from downloading it. You can participate in arena fights and win money like this, and you can uncover NPC secrets as well, as they all pretty much have a story and they're beautifully voice acted as well. With this mod, you can become the Riven Gate champion and take over Riften from the underground.
I told you, your inevitable ascension. Listen to that crowd.
And with these mods, I believe we can turn this already amazing city into something even better. I always felt like Riften was a hidden gem of the game, but for some reason, I was always one of these people that always came back to Whiterun. Now, we have revamped it, and let's use the city as a base more often. Let's use it to film our videos and to immerse ourselves more into the game. A city full of mystery, full of life, and full of beauty should not be tossed aside like this. We all know we're gonna sim for Whiterun all the time, but I think we should give Riften the spotlight it deserves. And this was it for the Riften video, so I want to thank you all very much for watching. But before you leave, before you do that, we need to get the comment shout out, so let's go. I actually have 2 for today because it's a special day. Robert, don't fall. And yes, this is the real Robert, by the way. He's 100% natural. So first of all, we have Is Diddy. Someone get this man 10,000 views. I mean, there's nothing really I have to add for that. Just please do it. I'll do anything. I'll even break this laptop if you really want me to. I'll do it. And Mirko Blanco says, immersion medal. So someone finally gave me an immersion medal. I've been working so hard for this. I just want to thank my family, my girlfriend that's sitting right there, just looking at me and judging me from behind the camera. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. So I loaded up this older game called Skyrim. I started making videos people be admiring. Well, on one hand, it gets pretty tough. I can't help to admit that it's some really cool stuff. I get back in the game after I played so many times. I thought it would get boring after committing so many crimes. Did you know the ripple chicken is considered a person? Now that's a dumb feature that ruins my immersion.